The qualifying session for the 2025 Mexico City Grand Prix just took place. This is the starting grid. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how tomorrow's main race is going to pan out. Charles Leclerc is going to take the victory, Lewis Hamilton P2, Max Verstappen P3, and then Norris will be P3 or lower, Oscar Piastri will be P7 or lower. And I know that the prediction sounds absolutely crazy. Let me walk you through it. So at the race start, Lando Norris is obviously going to bottle the race start and lose a couple of positions. He will lose a position to Leclerc and Hamilton, who will be P1 and P2 by the time they exit turn 1. And then Leclerc and Hamilton are going to play the DRS games. Lewis will be in Leclerc's DRS, and Leclerc will strategically drive to ensure that Lewis is in his DRS to make sure Norris doesn't make the pass, especially in the straights. And because of that, and thanks to Norris's poor overtaking and racecraft skills, it is going to be easier for the Scuderia to defend against a faster McLaren for a significantly long period of time in the first stint. Meanwhile, also at the race start, Max Verstappen will inch ahead of Osama bin Russell because Russell will get boxed by Leclerc and Norris, and Hamilton and Verstappen will just go through, and George Russell will drop to P5. Now, because of that, this will give a nice little buffer to Verstappen from Antonelli and Piastri, because Piastri potentially could be a quicker McLaren in the race, in the race stream. It looks very less likely considering how far his weekend has been panning out. He needs to change some things really, really quickly. In the post-qualifying interviews, Piastri said that I have not changed particularly anything in terms of my driving style and things like that, and the performance has dropped, which means he definitely needs to go ahead and look into where he can improve. Anyway, so by the end of the first lap, Leclerc leads from Hamilton, leads from Norris. Then we have Max Verstappen getting closer and closer to Norris and maintaining undercut distance to Norris, thanks to the defending skills of Leclerc and Hamilton at front. And then there will be Osama bin Russell, Kimi Antonelli, and Oscar Piastri. Piastri will not make much progress. He will be ahead of Isaac Hadjar and the rest of the field because he's in a McLaren, but in terms of putting the pressure on the Mercedes and trying to make a pass, he won't be there. He doesn't have the race pace. For some reason, he's, for the last few weekends, he has not been on the top of his game. Anyway, then the race will continue until the first round of pit stops. Everything will more or less be settled the way it is. Max Verstappen will blink first, go to the pits, get his tire changed with the intention of undercutting Lando Norris. Then McLaren will fumble and make a mistake of pitting Piastri first because Piastri is struggling and he doesn't have a lot of pace. He will be way ahead of Isaac Hadjar, and he will be like, you know what, let me just get out of these tires, try some new tires, get on a new strategy, and see if I can unlock some more pace. So Piastri will dive into the pits, get his tires changed, and his pace will not dramatically improve, although he will be slightly more comfortable on the track. And meanwhile, Max Verstappen will be blitzing, putting in fastest laps. And then Lando Norris will dive into the pits. This time, the McLaren boys will fuck up the pit stop. Usually, the second pit stop gets fucked up. So after a couple of laps of pitting Piastri, when Norris pits in, he will have a 5-second pit stop, 3 extra seconds of stationary, giving Max Verstappen a comfortable gap to pull away of Lando Norris. Now, obviously, Lando Norris will have the pace to catch Max Verstappen up, but in the meanwhile, because of the long pit stop, Osama bin Russell will get in the middle as well, and this is where things get interesting. Now, after the first sequence of pit stops, Leclerc leads from Hamilton, leads from Verstappen, then Osama bin Russell, then Lando Norris, then Kimi Antonelli, and then Oscar Piastri. This is what would happen after the first round of pit stops, okay? Lando Norris will be in a Mercedes sandwich, and outside of the Mercedes sandwich will be Oscar Piastri. Now, here's what's going to happen. Kimi Antonelli is going to close in on Norris, and Russell will defend for his life. And then we will see the overtaking skills of Norris, because towards the end of the race, I think Norris will pass Russell to finish right behind Max Verstappen. So between Verstappen and Piastri, who is the primary contender because Piastri has a 40-point race lead. So Verstappen will be P3, then there will be Norris, because I think towards the end of the race he will pass Russell. Then there will be the couple of the Mercedes drivers, and then there will be Piastri. So which means Piastri will be P7, I think. So I don't know how many points of P7. 1, 2, then there's 4. I think 6 points. So Piastri will score 6 points. Max Verstappen will be P3, so he will score 15 points. 9 points swing. I earlier predicted that it will be 10 plus points, but so far, based on my analysis and prediction of how the race will pan out, it looks like it will be a 9-point swing. Everybody goes home happy. Ferrari 1-2. Lewis Hamilton gets his first podium. Leclerc takes the first victory in Mexico City Grand Prix. First victory in 2025 for Ferrari in Formula 1 in Mexico City. Kind of reminiscent of last year. And then Max Verstappen will complete the podium. And then 3 positions behind him will be Oscar Piastri, the championship leader, who will lose 9 points to Max Verstappen. Norris is not big of a threat. Now I can see that yes, Norris has unlocked some pace and some consistency from the car, but when it comes to battling wheel to wheel, he doesn't really have the advantage. As we will see at the start of the Mexico City Grand Prix, when Leclerc and Hamilton pip Norris and keep him behind for the majority of the first stint, despite Norris being in a faster McLaren, we will see. And like everybody else, there will definitely be some drama. Fernando Alonso will have a great race start, and then he will get unlucky. We will want to see how that unlucky situation plays out. And then Yuki Tsunoda is ahead of Esteban Ocon, so he better watch out, because Esteban is not crash prone, but he drives a little bit too dangerously at the initial stages of the race. And so far looks like Ocon is behind Bierman, and for the rest of the people I'm not that interested about. I used to think that hopefully think that Colapinto will outqualify Gasly. But I'm interested in seeing Colapinto's race pace tomorrow, because he has been really good and promising in the recent run of races, especially after the summer break. So anyway, that's my whole prediction. Leclerc from Hamilton from Verstappen, that's the top 3, and we'll see how that pans out. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.